Coming up on First at 4, Walmart truck drivers and staff send gifts and toys to students at 2 Eastern Kentucky school systems affected by the flood. And the White House sends out a warning of a potential COVID-19 surge this winter.
Plus, cold air is on the way back into the mountains. The latest on just how quickly coming up as Mountain News First at 4 starts right now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4 this morning, Walmart truck drivers and staff headed to Breathitt and Perry County schools to give toys to students affected by the July flood. During the past month, Walmarts across Kentucky, Tennessee, and Ohio have been holding a toy drive after one truck driver says he saw a major need.
Radio station in London, and they were running ads for toys for Eastern Kentucky. And 2 days before the deadline, I went to the Walmart store in London and bought toys and took out there, and I was the first person that had brought any.
Lawson says in about 3 weeks, they had more than 4,000 toys donated to help kids in our region. We'll have much more about this tonight at 6. One family in Martin County had a run-in with a real-life Grinch. Heather Spence of Inez is a single mom of 3 who works 2 jobs to provide Christmas presents for her children. But while the family took a weekend trip to Tennessee, their home was broken into and their presents and other electronics were stolen, with nothing left under the tree. Spence said folks in the community have reached out to help, but Christmas will not be the same.
There has been a couple people reach out and they're offering help, and I bought a few things off Amazon to replace it, but I'll not be able to get everything back that I have for my kids because I started months ago and we live on a budget.
Martin County Sheriff's Office and Kentucky State Police have confirmed that they are following up on leads about who might be the Martin County Grinch. We'll have more on this tonight at 6 as well.
Well, yesterday was pretty soggy all throughout the region, but the good news, no major reports of flooding, or really any reports of flooding at all. The trade-off, well, it's beautiful outside again. At least it looks beautiful, but it is very chilly. There's a look outside right now. 50 at London Corbin Airport with scattered clouds. It's really a beautiful scene, just getting a little chilly out there. Breezy southwest winds as well. 52 here in Hazard as the sun continues to set, and 50 as the sun continues to set on downtown Pikeville. There's the view from Buffalo Mountain as well. 52 in southern Perry County. You can see, though, the cool air not far behind. At least cooler air. We're in the 50s in the Cumberland Valley, upper 40s to the west in places like Lexington and Louisville. We're all a clean sweep on pinpoint Doppler, except maybe a sprinkle out near Grundy. That's about it, but you see more clouds pushing in from the west as that low pressure continues to spin over the western Great Lakes. Heading through the rest of tonight, 50 by 5 and cooling quick to near 40 overnight. Details on a much chillier weekend ahead in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. A destructive weather system sweeping across the southeast has damaged homes, property, and taken the lives of at least 3 people. Tornadoes tore across the region last night, and people are just beginning to assess the damage. While the cleanup begins in some areas, storms are trailing east, potentially bringing ice and snow to areas in the northeast. CNN's Glory Pasmino has more.
Yep, that's a tornado heading our way.
A trail of destruction left across Louisiana and the southeast after a severe weather system swept across the region Wednesday night.
To have this kind of damage come through just before Christmas, there's no good time for it, obviously.
In Gretna, Louisiana, a tornado is believed to have caused major damage to thousands of structures.
This has blazed a trail of total destruction. As I said, probably over a mile, the entire length of our city.
The force and wind ripping up power lines. Tens of thousands in the region were left in the dark Wednesday night.
We got inside and like 5 minutes later, all hell broke loose. It sounded like a bomb went off.
In this Louisiana city, a resident takes in the damage.
Look at this. I can't believe that tornado that I thought we were safe from came and destroyed our house.
The National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center said at least 49 tornadoes have been reported across Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Alabama, and Florida over the past 2 days. And it may not be over yet. The same system is now moving east, potentially bringing ice and heavy snow to the Mid-Atlantic and New England. I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
The Department of Homeland Security has released an updated plan for next week's scheduled ending of Title 42. The measure allows federal immigration officials to swiftly return migrants to their home countries using pandemic concerns. The new plan was published online this week. It includes 6 pillars: surging resources to the border, including the hiring of nearly 1,000 Border Patrol processing coordinators, and adding 2,500 contractors and personnel from government agencies, which will allow federal agents to focus on law enforcement duties in the field. The plan also includes increasing processing efficiency, imposing consequences for unlawful entry, bolstering nonprofit capacity, targeting smugglers, and working with international partners. The White House is warning of a possible COVID surge this winter. It's urging Americans to protect themselves as they gather with family and friends during the holidays. In a new public campaign launched today, the administration says the stakes are even higher due to a trio of threats: COVID, RSV, and the flu. The flu, of course, is having one of its worst seasons in a decade. The White House says the trio of respiratory viruses is causing stress on hospitals and healthcare workers. They are urging people to do what they can to keep COVID at bay, including being vaccinated, boosted, and wearing masks when necessary. Coming up on First at 4, with cold weather hitting most of the country, that means heating prices are on the rise.
Plus, continuing to watch cold air make its return to the mountains after weeks of milder temperatures. The latest on what this means for the weekend and beyond coming up after this.